What? Is it that time already? Sure is. And I don't even have a watch. I'm John Zidar. This is On Top and Hot. And today is Tuesday. It's April 1st. You know, I didn't realize until I was just making this video, it's April Fool's. Nobody pulled one on me, so I didn't know. And obviously, I didn't pull one on anybody else. And lucky you, I'm not going to be able to pull one on you, because I probably would. What I normally like to do in this show is to share a hot penny stock with you. I'm a day trader and I primarily trade stocks under $5. But I spend my days over here at Pennybois Discord group. This is a Discord group that helps people learn how to trade whatever it is they trade. Whether it be penny stocks, blue chip stocks, Forex, cryptos, tokens, whatever it is, we do it. And we got coaches you can actually hire that you can talk to, that'll answer your questions and teach you what they know. And my job over here is on the scalping page. It's called the Stock Wizards Momentum page. It's right here. There's a link down below. It says this is the link to Pennybois. Click that. It'll take you to Discord. If you don't have a Discord account yet, don't worry about it. Give them an email, choose a username and password. Voila, you've got yourself an account. They'll automatically direct you over here to us. On the left-hand side is the menu. Yours won't be as big as mine. Find the Stock Wizards Momentum page, click it, and you are where the gang is at. Now, we are in here trading stocks that are already moving. We're playing hot stocks, folks. We're looking for stocks that have momentum, that already have volume, already in motion. Now, we don't care about getting the cheapest price. We're not worried about how high they're going to go. We want what's happening in the middle, what I call a probable move. This is the basic concept here, folks. We have a chart. Maybe I find it, maybe somebody else finds it. It comes onto the board. First thing I do is go get some supports and resistances. These horizontal lines you see drawn across here, I put on. We draw these ourselves. These are places on historical price points where the price likes to change direction, where it likes to bounce. If it comes up underneath here and falls back down, or it bounces on top. These are supports and resistances. And what are they good for? They help us plan our trades. These supports and resistances are like speed bumps to the price. What do we do when we approach a speed bump? We slow down. Well, so does the price. And it can go into reverse and start going backwards. So what we like to do is plan our trades, plan them by getting an entry up over top of a support. Not on it, but over it. Just a few pennies, maybe a nickel. If it gets over it, chances are it's going to hit the gas pedal and continue on to the next speed bump where it may slow down. So we get in just over top of this support. We plan the trade with a target to get out underneath the next support where it could hit its head and slow down or go into reverse. We also put in a stop loss underneath the entry, underneath the support we are on, underneath by a few pennies or below a dip. If a dip came underneath, you want to get underneath that dip. You don't want it to tag you. And this is how we plan our trades day in and day out all day. Now, a lot of the stocks we play are halted charts, folks. We keep up with halted charts, at least I do, over here at the NewYorkStockExchange.com website. They've got a page called Trade Halts. This is it. They tell you every halt as it happens. But you've got to refresh the page in most cases. So when you come over here, first thing you need to do is hit that refresh button, see what comes up. You find yourself a ticker that's within the time zone, a few minutes, you run over to your chart and you see what is going on. Well, we had a lot of halted charts today, folks. And one of them was halted quite often today. It was NMAX. NMAX was on fire, folks. She came onto the market yesterday. This is where she came on, $14. We caught it at about $28, I think it was. Let me see what we've got over here. We've got a search bar over here, folks, which really makes our site nice. First off, if you put in the word find it in the search bar, what comes up are all the charts I have been putting supports and resistances on. You can see each one of them. So when you come on here and you say, what's hot? What stocks have you guys been playing? Well, this is the best way to do it. Just put FINDIT as one word and just come on over here and you will see all the charts that have been being put in today and every day before that. And you can keep up with us. So I'm going to put in the ticker since I know what I'm looking for. NMAX. Now, NMAX came onto the market, as I said, yesterday, and she is a news media company that has 40 million consumers, but it doesn't look like they've got anything special. I didn't see a whole bunch of TV channels. I didn't see AI or anything like that, but this stock went crazy, folks. Let me see. It was yesterday I found it. This is all today. That's as far as it's going to go. All right, well, this is the chart, folks. I found it halted. Somewhere about 10 in the morning, 11 in the morning, somewhere like that. She came on the start of the day at 14 bucks. I found it at around $28. She had already jumped 100%. When we find a halted chart, we can see everything that's going on. The first thing we look at is volume. Does it have a lot of volume? Yes, it does. We look at the moving averages on the chart. Are they all pointed up? Are all the MAs pointed up? Yes. Are oscillators? Are all of the oscillators pushing up? Is everything going to the moon? If you have all of that, you've got yourself a hot chart. Now, we have one of two ways that we play halts over here, but maybe you've got your own way. One is a lot of brokers will allow you to put in an order while it's halted. So you see it's hot. Well, what I can do is I open up. We're not going to have it right now. Okay, this is our level 2. Level 2 shows you the queuing up of orders before they hit the market. You get to see all the people that want to sell, how many they want to sell, add 2 zeros to these numbers, so that 1 is 100 shares, and how much they're asking. Over here is all the people who are willing to buy, for what price, and how many shares they're wanting to buy. Well, when this gets halted, they take these two columns and they mix them up and they freeze. Well, I have noticed that the top 2 numbers over here and the bottom 2 numbers over here turn out to be targets where the price can jump to if it's pushing up. And we use that. So you can put in an order. Let's say we found this at $28. I would come in at $28.50. Oh, I put my ask way above the price, because when she comes out of halt, she can shoot. She can blast off, folks. And I don't want her passing me. If I'm at $28.10, she may fly right by me. But if the price comes in at $28.10, my $28.50 will fall down and I'll get the best price. So I'm not going to get missed being high, and I get the best price if it comes in low. So it's a winning bet for me either way I go. Then I use a trailing stop loss instead of a target. A trailing stop loss is a stop loss I could set for like 10%, 15%, because it's going to have volatility. When the stock rises, my stop loss follows behind the price. Right behind me like a trailer on a car. No extra distance. When the price starts to fall, the stop loss locks. If the price does not come down the full 10 or 15% and starts to climb again, the stop loss follows it. When the price finally falls the full 10 to 15% and hits the stop loss, then it automatically sells. So this allows me to get the most gains I can get without having to choose a target. The other way you can play it, and this was handed down to us by Scott, a person who helps me on the momentum page. Oh man, from what I understand, he used to be a broker back before there was computers, if I understand that correctly, and he used to do hard charting. And he is always working with the VWAP and different sorts of patterns. Well, he has a play that when the halt is over, make note of the high. What was it at when it was halted? When it dips down and comes back and starts to come back up, when it gets near its high, you put in a bid 2 cents over the high. When it breaks the high and gets your bid, it normally jumps, a good jump over that high. We see this happen over and over and over again. So these are 2 ways we do play the halts, and we watch them all through the day. Boom, 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 halt after halt after halt. Now this halt, she started at $14, we saw it at $28, and she started climbing. By the end of the day, she was almost $100. Starting off at $14, at the end of yesterday, she was almost at $100. Did you see what the price is today, folks? Let me bring this down. No, not that. Lots of buttons here. She hit a high today of $265. Starting at $14 yesterday, brand new IPO just came on the market, has not stopped climbing. Looks like she is still climbing after market right now and pushing. Everything is looking strong. Now, of course, it's not a penny stock now, and it wasn't a penny stock when we started looking at this. But you can see how these things can run. Now, I want to share something else with you. Another stock that you may want to consider right now. Let's see. It is WTF. What the... So I found this at 231 just on the market today, halted and climbing. Now, as you can see, she came on at $4.05 and she started pushing, hit $10.55 here. Now, when I look at a halted chart, I see if volume's coming in. I see if my oscillators are pushing up. Are all these lines climbing? Yes, every single one. So I put a box around them all and just put one arrow next to it. You know everything is climbing. What about up here? All of them are climbing. This is a hot chart, folks. And that's what I told everybody. We got to pay attention to this. Then she halted. This is what we do on a halted chart, folks. I circle the top two numbers. I circle the bottom two numbers. These are possible targets after she comes out of her halt. We're at $10.55. We got prices here of $15, $11, $11.30, and $12. So what happened after this? Let's see if we can find a break. WTF right here. She jumped. So we were at 10 something. We just went to 12.65. Again, she has halted. So I've circled the numbers down here. Now we're at 17.5, 12.5, and two of them at 14. So this is a stock right now that is running. Let's go see. I am going to share that one with you too. So here's WTF. Look at her go, folks. Right? She started off today, IPO'd at $4. She is on a steady run, floating on that 9-day. What you see here is a Fibonacci because we don't have any old prices. So I can't get supports and resistances to tell people where to get in and where to get out of the stock. So what I do is I use a Fibonacci and I take it. I'm going to get rid of this and show you exactly how I did this. I take my Fibonacci and I poke the entire run from top to bottom, whatever it is. Boy, this is hard. So from the high bubble right there down to this low bubble, then I unlock it and I move it up to this line right there. I move up to the very top bubble. The second line, I move up to the top bubble right there. Why do I do that? Trial and error, folks. When we were at all-time highs on stocks, I couldn't give anybody supports and resistances. And these stocks were running. We needed to know where to get in and get out. So I just started experimenting, started trying different things. And this was something I tried over and over again that seems to work. See here? I just threw it in there. You can see she's hit her head right there and she's bouncing right there perfectly. So this now becomes our supports and resistances that we're going to use as this starts to run. And it could continue to run. Now again, she's not a penny stock anymore, is she? She's getting out of range. But you know, you could take $100 and buy 5 shares, and when she goes up $30, take $20. Nobody's going to laugh at you for that, folks. Profit is profit. Anytime you can take green, you're doing well. There was another stock that came onto the market today. It was WXM. WXM came on at $4. It was here at 210. She started to get some excitement and climb. She went from that $4 up to $8. So that was 100% climb there. Now she is not keeping going like the other two were doing. She has pulled back. She's found her 50-day MA and she's landed on it. Maybe she's going to run. Maybe she isn't. I don't know. What I am telling you here, though, folks, is you want to make sure that you're keeping an eye on these IPOs. They don't have to be anything special. Now, something that may have had the one stock running over another is how many shares did they put on the market? That's always an important factor. If they came on with 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, I don't mean 1,000. Oh, yeah, that'd be great. 1 million, 2 million, 5 million shares, you're going to see some run out of that just because it has a low float. But take your gains on the way up. Now, nobody could expect a $14 stock is going to go to $2.65. But you could have probably made a lot of money at $50 and $70 and $80. Yeah, you may be upset that you didn't stick it in. But you know what I did today? There was a hard runner. Let's see if I can remember the ticker here. BIAF. I got into BIAF, I think it was last week. She started the run yesterday, just after the bell. She started to take off. She had like 300% gains today. Well, what I did is, as she was stair-stepping up, when she hit a high, she would pull back. Well, that high, I would make just 2 cents under that high my next sell. And I would sell 100 shares at a high that pulled back and came back up. When she hit another high and pulled back, I put in a sell at that high. I sold like 4 or 5 times all of my shares stair-stepping out, and I still made over 300% gains. I didn't carry it all the way up. I started selling early in the day. Some at the first 100 shares, I made $71. The second 100, I made $91. The third 100, I made $131. The fourth 100, I made $148. And when you averaged it all together, I came out over 300%. And I was locking in gains as I was going up this ladder. Because sooner or later, chances are she is going to come down. And when did that happen? When it went parabolic. When it went straight up and hit this high bubble, you just had to presume she was coming back. This is a kangaroo. It's not a bird. It does not fly. So she went too high. She had to come down to bounce on something. She came down to her 50 and she is starting to climb again. And you know what I did with BIAF? Because I was up over 300% and I still had 50 shares left, I didn't even sell my last 50 shares. The way I see it, folks, I wanted the fruit. Why should I cut down the tree when I just want the fruit? BIAF looks good for maybe a long hold. So I'm going to just let that 50 shares sit there, and I'm not going to even pay any mind to it. I'm just going to let the shrub grow. I'll come back in 6 months like Johnny Appleseed and see what's going on with it. I did this back before COVID when just dealing with penny stocks on the OTC. I wasn't doing any small caps on major exchange. And when February came around of 2021, I hit a lot of stocks. So I kept a lot of free shares. I had 26 companies that all had free stock in them. I didn't miss it because I had made big gains, 800%, 1,000%. And I said, I'm just going to leave 200 shares in that. I'm going to leave 300 shares in that. And when I came time to sell it 7 months down the road, I had an extra $500 in profit from these just all growing little by little by little. So, I'm just going to leave the shrub here and see what happens. The other thing I want to share with you today, this is a smorgasbord of information. As I was telling you, Scott is a trader, definitely a trader, and he does a lot of charting. And I've been monitoring his charts. Well, he makes a lot of references to the VWAP. Now, I am not a stranger to the VWAP, but if you know me, folks, you know I don't use it. I've never used the VWAP, though I did look at it about 2 years ago. When I looked at it, it confused me. I didn't know a whole lot back then. I don't know a whole lot now, but I just didn't want to use it. But I hear these professional traders over here at Pennybois always talking about if it breaks VWAP, we're expecting a strong run. Or if this comes under the VWAP, it looks like it could drop hard. Well, that sounds like a serious line to be considering. So I took another look at the VWAP today. So what I want to do is share what I learned today. Maybe you already understand the VWAP. That is volume weighted average price. Somehow they take the price and the volume and they computate that all together and come up with some average that puts a line on the chart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that on the chart here and I'm going to remove everything else. I'm going to take all the other lines off so that we don't see any of them. Wait a minute. Before I do that, I want to show you something. This is how I came to the point of wanting to see this. You see all these arrows here? Right here is when I noticed something. I was looking for a breakout. I was actually looking for a breakdown, but I was studying the chart here and I seen she got over the 200 haul here. This is on the QQQ. I know it's not a penny stock, but I'm learning about charting. So the stock came up, broke out over the 200 haul, got real high. Looked like she was going to continue to go, and all of a sudden she stopped. Like she hit her head on something and then fell. She comes down here, falls really deep, looks like she hit something and stops. Well, I went and looked for my supports and resistances to see if there were lines here that she's bouncing on. There weren't. Not on my 1 minute, not on my 5 minute, my 15 minute. It's like, what the heck? Why is this bouncing? Well, I discovered something when I put my VWAP up here. You can come over here. This is, let me show you where I got that. This last flask right there. If you click that flask, you can get all your tools over here. Put in VWAP. You get two different VWAPs. I tried them both. I went with this regular VWAP there. Add selected. Hit apply. Say OK. Boom. Now you've got two lines here. Actually, you've got three. Kind of confusing, right? You can't see them. So I'm going to clean up the board and I'm going to get rid of all the other lines. So all we have up there is that. I'm going to get rid of all my moving averages, my 200 haul. There we go. That should be a lot cleaner for you. And I'm going to get rid of these lines here as well. All right, so there you go. The only thing we have on this chart now is the price and the, what is that? Looks like I got an MA up there. Did I miss one? I did. 50 MA snuck on the board, trying to confuse me. All right, so now all we have are three lines on the board. This is your VWAP, folks. Think of the top line as overbought. Think of your bottom line is oversold. And this is smack dab in the middle. Now what's important to know about the VWAP is that it resets at the beginning of the day every single day. Right here is the end of the day from yesterday, the 31st, till the 1st of April. You can see this is the old VWAP. She was wide at that point, whatever she was doing, and then it reset right there. Everything, the price, the VWAP, everything starts at the same spot and then starts to grow from there. And the price will normally bounce inside the VWAP bars. Now what I noticed here, back to these lines, we had a line right here. Remember, it came up. I said it hit something. What did it hit? I couldn't find a support. It hit the VWAP. It hit it hard right there and bounced right down. When it came down here, it just broke through the bottom VWAP, the oversold, and that became a resistance. These are resistances. It's going to bounce in between here like a billiard ball on a pool table. She bounced on the top. She bounced on the bottom. She came back up. When she started breaking through the top VWAP, getting into overbought, she was getting red hot. As you can see down here, folks, the RSI starts getting very hot when you break out because you're in the overbought. And that's when she gets a lot of strength. Now, what I'm learning here is that she does stay in between the overbought and the oversold, the top and the bottom VWAP lines, which means this is a big spread. You're going to get some huge drops and bounces out of here because of the big spread between the VWAP. Now let's take a look at another one. I don't care, just pull one up. Let's try this one. This is Milgo. Ooh, I don't want to do Milgo because I need all those lines. I don't want to get rid of those lines. WTF. All right, let's look at WTF. Where is the lines on it? Holy cow, look at that, folks. So she was flatlining right in here. Everything is in between. As we said, the price stays in between when it's going sideways. And when it opened up, it went straight to the upper bar and it's just hanging on to it. I mean, you can tell when it's going to lose power. You could get rid of all of your MAs. You wouldn't need them if you were just using your VWAP. You could see whenever she breaks underneath the VWAP, she's going to be getting weak. Let's see if we can find another one here. What's on the red? ADAP. Let's take a look at ADAP. That's a 5-minute chart. So right here, let's even get closer. So she started off right there, broke out of her VWAP, came back into it, got real tight here and broke out. you can see the price followed the VWAP, went sideways, and she is just hugging that VWAP. Every time she jumps, folks, she jumps up to the VWAP. She doesn't go really over it until now. When she blasted over it, what happened? It went into the overbought so hard and fast that it came down abruptly. So you can use the VWAP to give you a lot of indicators for how she's moving, how the strength is moving. But I think this works great in accordance with all of your oscillators down here. So when you come over here to Pennybois, you're going to see a lot of charts. Don't let it overwhelm you, folks. And when you're playing a chart, don't chase the stock. Plan your trade, folks. If you see a stock is moving, get ahead of it. Find the supports and resistances by coming over here and using the word find it. Find the charts that you're looking for. You say, oh, I'm looking for a hot chart. Well, you know, the charts we were playing in the morning, the ones that were running real hard, cool down at lunchtime. Kind of go sideways, maybe even fall down to some strong MAs. And then after lunch, start to heat up again. So it's easy to just come over here, bring this up and grab that ticker. Come over here and type in WTF. See what that chart looks like. Then come back over here, CSI, CSAI, and just drop those in real quick. And you can see if a stock is moving just by going through the embers, stirring up the charts we were looking at in the morning. You may find one in the afternoon. But we are bringing in charts all day. In the morning, we get a ton of them. I can't keep up with them all. In the afternoon, we do get some. Today was a good day because we had a lot of hot halts and a lot of IPOs that were running. I hope I've shared something here, folks, that is going to help you. IPOs, charting, coming over here, trading with the Wizzy. I would love to see you over here, folks. Go on down there, click that link, and join me. It's free. It isn't costing you anything. And we've got another page over here while you're here that you should check out. It is called the free lobby page. The free lobby page is the other half of what used to be the free members page. The reason we split it, we had a lot of conversation and activity going on with swing trades. Lots of people swing trade. That's great. There's nothing wrong with swing trading. But when you're playing momentum trades, looking at a swing trade stock isn't helping you at all. You're looking for a stock that's running right now. So what we did was basically split the pages. My page is for momentum scalps. That's it. That's what we're doing there. Over here, you've got your swing trades. You've got option talk. We've got questions. If you got questions, this is the best place to go. Our free lobby page, you're going to see people over here like Porterhouse, Mad Max, Ethan, Nikki. You got a question, pose it over here. Somebody will answer that question for you, folks. That is why we're here. And basically, these free pages, they're like a try before you buy. I'm not afraid to say that. We're a business, but we want you to see what we do. And if you come over to my page and make some money, you may like what we do. And if you start wanting to learn more, you may want to hire a coach that you can actually talk to one-on-one, who's going to share his screen with you and answer your questions and teach you what he knows so that you can do what you do better. Sound good? I think so. Appreciate your time, folks. Remember, the more you know, say it with me, the more we're going to grow. That's right. See you later, folks.